Hey everyone, this is Dying Demon, and welcome back to Creativerse. Now, before we begin, I'm sorry for how long it's been since I've uploaded a video. I have a Fortress Craft that's uploading now. This should come out about a day or so later. I've been busy with my sister going to school, helping with that, rearranging my room, getting everything set up, having to redo my computer and audio setup. I'm working on slowly canceling out echo, so you might hear some echo and changes in the audio. I no longer have stuff blocking sound on my walls, so that's going to be of a problem. I am also working on a build right now for Creativerse, but it's not exactly ready. It deals a little bit more heavily with logic gates and using and, or, zor, nor, you get the point, more advanced programming, and it's a scorekeeping system, but it's still a little bit off from being built. Now, as you know from the last video, there are blueprints out now, and I plan on looking at a few user blueprints and building them. What? Did Amy's Chizard get out? Hold on, we'll continue this conversation in a moment. Are you Amy's Chizard? You are. Well then, what? How'd you get out? The door's closed. Huh. Well, I can't interact with you to pull you back in, so you're kind of, yeah, you're kind of stuck there. Sorry. But, in the last video, when we were doing gates and such, I made the, simple little shack, just to show you how to make your own blueprints. Now, on this one, I figured I should go back to the basics. I realized that I never fully explained what each individual item is and how it works. At least whenever it comes to, gates. Now, I will be explaining these, but I'm also going to be giving you links to the developer website that contain additional information. Let's see, I've got my delay gate, I've got my sensor, my mob spawner, my block phaser, switch, sign, flip-flop, number comparison, industrial number pad, Euro from my build I'm still working on. Do I have a number comparison? I do. Do I have an inverter? I do not. Let's see. Do I have more of these elsewhere? Oops, there's some more. Mob spawner and loot spawner. Yes, I need to do some serious work on my base. I need to get my boxes resorted, get some seeds and melons planted. See what? I picked up a horned melon. I need to go turn you into some seeds. Horned melon. Get me some seeds, please. Diamond. Diamond in the sky. Speaking of which, I think I have fire. I don't know if I showed you. I'll show you later if I have time. About using, let's see, LEDs. Using tar bombs to, tar and then ice bombs and then fire bombs to make. What was it? Yeah, it's tar, then ice, then fire to make diamonds. Pressure pad. Switch. Your lantern. I'll use you for a basic demonstration on wiring to lanterns. I think that's everything. Let's head out and I'm going to show you some basics on how these things work. Now, it's not going to be an in-depth one. I unfortunately am not good enough at wiring to even come close to in-depth. That's why I'm making links to developer websites and little hints and guides besides my own. So, let's start here. Speaking of which, why is there no grass here? Boop, boop. Okay, so, let's start with your most basic run-of-the-mill thing, a switch. Let me just put all this in my inventory. Let's go ahead and put down... Let's put down levers. Aren't you also a lever? Yeah, you're also a lever, aren't you? No, you're a switch. Number pad. Let's use LEDs because they're easier to see. Well, let's just go ahead and put all this on there. At least everything I can put on there. So we're going to be breaking these up into categories. In category 1, we have what are known as output only. These are things that are used to trigger certain events. So on and off. So for this one, we're going to put down a industrial lever, switch, a number pad, a pressure plate. Speaking of which, let me dig a hole in the ground and place you in that, because that's where you go. Do I have anything else that qualifies? Let's find out. I do not see it, but we're still going to go ahead, and since I don't need those anymore, I'm going to go ahead and put these on top of them for future overview. Am I missing anything? I feel like I'm missing some, like, where's my loot spawner? Up here. So, what these things do is, whenever you step on them, or you type on them, or you flip them, it causes them to send out a signal. Now this one is state is true. If I turn it off, it's false. If this one's on, it's true. This one, though, has a numeric system. It still only sends out. It cannot receive. But if I do 15, it won't show it here, but it'll send out a number that is 15. Now, this will still be counted as a true. Just like these being on, this will be true, and it'll open a door or turn a light. Case in point, let's put down an LED. And let's wire it all to the LED. I didn't click it. That would help if I click it. I need to finish resetting my mouse sensitivity too, because I think I screwed that up. So, case in point, let's make you hit N to interact. I'm going to change your color to, like, get rid of red. Let's make you like Amy's favorite color, which I think is like, no, you know what? Forget that. We're going to do mine. Boop. Just get rid of the green, get rid of the blue, just red. So, if I step on a pressure plate, it's red. But if I step off the pressure plate, it turns off. If I go to this, and let's say 54, a true state is sent. Now, this one is a bit different than these right here. This one has an what's known as auto reset. You see how it turns off whenever another signal, whenever it gets a false signal, it doesn't matter if it gets multiple. This has what I call auto reset. In order to set the state to 0, you just get to step off of it. This, you have a reset timer, so let's set it to 5. Now what this will do is, it'll send a true signal out with a number, and then when the timer's done, it sends out a false signal and turns it off. This has true or false on and off, as long as you hit a button. See what I mean? Same with this. There are other things that you can use to have the same effect, I just don't have them with me. But you'll get the basic idea. Now, next up we have the the sensor. The sensor is different than, you know what, let me move on. The sensor is different than these right here. It has both the effect of being on a pressure plate so long as you're in the square. What are you doing, pig? They're all gathering right there. Why? Anywho, As long as you're inside the little sensor range, it acts like a pressure plate, on and off. But it can also receive signals, and basically it can receive an input and activate. So let's say I were to, let's say I send you to this. Let's break them all. Okay. There we go. I'm going to take the signal from this one, send it into here, then send this into here, and you just connected it all over again. So let's just pick all these up, and let's pick you up. And go back into my inventory, grab you. That's one thing that happens. Sometimes things just auto reconnect, and for the life of me, I can't seem to figure out why. That's probably something I'm doing wrong. It wouldn't surprise me. So let's reconnect you here. Yep. And what about you? Yeah, let's pick you up too. Now, as you can see, it's off. And I'm going to put the message, hello there. Now, right now it's set to players or creatures. The sensor can be toggled to be a massive height or a massive length or a massive width. This way, as long as you're inside of it, you're getting the message and you're causing the event to happen, which is good for like block phasers, creating traps and such. But for now, let's just say hello there. But when I step on it, absolutely nothing. And there's a reason for that. This has to be toggled on. So let's toggle it on. You weren't supposed to turn on with it. Dagnabbit. Anywho. So, now that this is on, and I step on it, hello there, there's a message. And the sensor can be toggled true or false. Why'd you turn right back on? Oh, because you're receiving a false signal from this turning off because... Get out of my way, I'm recording. Take your goo. Alrighty, let's... So this game is good and all, but it does have its glitches. So, let's try this again. Put you down. Put you down. Connect you to you. Then I'll put an LED over here. You'll only receive a signal from this. Okay, and then let's... Stop hitting the wrong button. In... High. Save. So, as long as it's off, it'll receive nothing. Let's turn it on. Alright, now we'll turn it on. Now that it's on, it's receiving a true state which tells it to turn on. I step in and get the message high, and the block turns white. Isn't it mystifying, Piggy? Yes. Well, fine, don't care. I don't care either. But, there you go. Then if you step off, it receives a false signal. This is very, very useful for creating a... without using a logic gate to create a true-false system. Dealing with multiple people. Like, let's say I take... They get annoying sometimes. Let's drop another sensor here. And I'm going to connect you to you. Now have you noticed how it's still off? I'm going to name this Player 1. So I, as Player 1, steps in. This turns on this sensor, and then I will still need another person here. And when they step in it, which I did it just quick enough to trigger it, this one turns on. Capiche? Now, this is... It's one way to do it, but there are other ways to have the same effect. And thus we get into our programmable blocks. These are your gates. Oh, you know what? Before we do that, we're going to do the receive only stuff. The mob spawner. The block phaser. The whatever you are. Loot spawner. Your LED. Your fan. And did I bring anything else with me that's a receive only? Let's just say like your Arctech lanterns. Yeah. So, let's put you down. And we'll turn you off. Can I change your color? I cannot, darn. Alright, so, and I'm going to put down a lever to prove my point. Now, any of the things that can create signal can power any of these. Consider these your battery packs that power everything. And these are the final applications they're going to. There are other things like half the crap in this build right here. Because, why not? Glad to see that that logic gate and number gate system are still working. Not number gate, logic gate and timer gate. I thought about making a lighthouse with that, but I'll do that later. So first up is your monster spawner. Now when you hit N on it, it causes this. Now I can say that it requires loot, and then it's aggressive or non-aggressive. But you get the point. And it requires loot. There's no inventory. Can I F? Oh, okay, that's what you do. So first you go to it, you hit F. I'm going to drop in a window. You can then hit N on it, and then you can choose your mob type. There are a lot of them, from the boss hog to the chizard. Now, let's make this understood. Without something you've put in there, they will not drop things. This is to prevent people from just spamming this to get easy resources. Now, I can put in like Ghost Piggy, right? And I'm going to save it. Now, let's bring out our wiring tool. Oh, I almost forgot what you are. And let's connect it to here. Now, let me switch to combat. What's going to happen is, hit F, oh yeah, it's still sunlight. But anywho, when it dies, it drops the window, and you take it. This is how you can reward people for killing monsters, but it doesn't auto-reset. The loot that you have is yours, end of story. It's now in your inventory, and it is no, let's not do you. Let's do a regular piggy. Shoot. Here, have some shroom. You get the point. Basically, it is yours and it empties out the inventory. So let's hit F. And let's turn it back on. Pigsy, kill it. And there you go. Now, if I make him aggressive, save. Comes out and he immediately starts attacking me. And if you have it set to requires loot, it means that no matter what, it could be a one-time spawn only. Once the enemy has been killed, it never spawns again. I find this very useful if, like, let's say you have a maze set up and you want, let's just say, something like the Thing to come out. Let's turn off aggressive. And you want it to be the only thing that spawns. And I'm not fighting people because it will kick my butt. It will only spawn if there is loot. And if someone's already defeated, it will not come back out. But, there you go. Okay. Thank you. Up next, we have the block phasers. Now, you should be understanding this if you've seen my video on... Where is my... Over here. And what this does is quite simple. It takes anything that's in its range, and whenever you give it power or flip a switch, makes them disappear. Now let me get out of here before enemies show up and kill me. And it basically makes sure the block doesn't exist. And then when you hit F again, or activate it or deactivate the source, it goes back to normal. There are multiple uses for this. Some could be hiding water blocks, some could be hiding traps and treasure, or lava pits that you drop people down you just don't like when they get too close to your house. I've thought about doing that to this world, like surrounding Amy and Fox's living area with lava, and then putting a bunch of block phasers underneath it. When they get close enough to their house using sensors, it just opens up and they all fall in lava. However, I realized that would be a bad idea since this is Amy's world and she could take all of this away from me, so I haven't. Don't tell her I said this. Please. So for now, I'm going to place an LED. I can't, that's right. Can I? Nope. Alright, so for now, let's hit F. Nope. Let's hit N. Now, these are your blocks. These are the things that are inside the purple. And you know what? I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go to my house real quick and sleep. So that, go back to my house and sleep so that enemies don't kill me. Let me down. Hey. Hey. Thank you. Yeah, like down here, enemies are more than likely to spawn. And so why I kind of built it. Needed to freeze water into ice, and it needed to spawn snow enemies and stuff like that. Thank you. Well, alrighty. Woohoo! Oh shoot! Whoops. Here we go. Now, let's place some blocks inside of it. Alright, so let's place you here, place you here, place you here, place this here. Now, let's connect this to this. Let's hit N, and I'm going to make it so that only the dirt blocks turn on, leaving only the industrial floor to stay. We're going to save it, and I flip the switch on. Ta-da! The grass disappears, leaving only the industrial block. You can program this to take only one block out, or every block but one. And it's useful if, let's say, you want to create secret pathways, but you need to keep this hidden. You can easily, like, hide it underground, like as you can see right here. And if you want to, press N, get rid of you, turn you on, and save, and flip the switch. Suddenly, there's a pathway here that wasn't there before. And you can use it to hide bookshelves, stuff like that, but keep this hidden. However, it does make a sound, so I don't know how well that'll be. It's depending on how observant they are. So, next up, we have the loot spawner. Now, loot spawners do just what they say. Let's first connect it up, and let's hit F. Now what you do is you place your loot. I'm going to put 99 torches, and then let's hit N. And type is how you set it up. It can spawn in treasure chest, it can spawn in, you get the point. It can spawn in loot bags, holiday gift. Like here, I want to do this one. Save. And then, I spawn my loot. And then I come up, and I take it, and it's gone. Ta-da! Now I can open it back on, but there's nothing in there, so there's nothing they can take. This is also useful for like hidden treasures around corners, and or if you want to hide your stuff in a loot spawner instead of in your normal thing, and only you know where it is. You can use a code from a number pad to pop it out. But you get the point. It's pretty straightforward. Then here comes the LED, which I just showed off. You hit N and you can change the color. We did mine, so let's do green. Or a better idea. Let's make a very weak color. Take you, connect you, hit F. Ta-da! That is literally all that is to an LED. It's just turning it on and off with a light switch or a code or a true-false signal. Blech. Up next, we have the fan. Now, the fan does blow things. It does even blow mobs. It is something I am working on with... I'm trying to come up with either an air hockey table design, which is why I need the score table, or a skee ball, but skee ball is looking a little bit meh because I can't seem to get a ramp to work, but maybe ice will do it. But the reason why I want to do this is enemies that are, you take your cell and you just left click them and suck them, get blown. They get blown away. And if I can make an air table, I might be able to get them to move. Fine. You're a good subject. But if you put them on, let's say, a fan, they should be able to be blown up. Here, let's make this a case in points thing. Take that. Place. Hold on. You can't place directly on a object, or you activate it, which sucks, by the way. So let's put the spawner right here. And then take these away. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the fan does blow under blocks and still keep its effect. So let's also send one up here to the monster spawner. Let's make sure you're set to something I can handle to kill if I need to, yeah. Well, what happens is the fan said it blows things up. So let's hit F. Woo! There it goes. Bonk. And then it just keeps blowing them up. And if you jump at the same time you hit the fan, you get an even bigger boost. That is what fans are for. And there are quite a few builds that I've seen that basically take the fan and use them as roller coasters on ladders. And that's something you might have seen that I was doing on another area. I was taking ladders and doing like this. And it's something the developers have even noticed. They've done a video or two applauding people who have made roller coasters and transport systems doing this. The reason why this works, ladders, when you walk up them, from the front anyway, like this, have a little extra bounce on them to get you on top of the ladder. However, this means that that every time you hit a ladder, you're bouncing and maintaining momentum. So let's say I put a fan. Put a fan right here. Take these two out. Take this out. And then let's put a fan right here. And then let's rotate you. By the way, you can do what I just did with... You need to be one more up, don't you? Shoot. I could have just placed you direct. Durr. Place you here. Place you here. Press R. Rotate you around. There you go. You can do this by pressing R and then rotating by dragging your mouse, and it'll rotate around. Then you can use, and whenever you let go, it stays locked. So if I were to place another one, ta-da, faces the exact same direction. Very good if you like you have like multi-face blocks like this, and you just want this side to show. Rotate it so only this shows when facing this way, and then place them down. So, back to the ladders. Once you're on top of them, like let's say with this, and it blows me, woohoo! It literally will work by transporting you like that. Now, it's not perfect because I'm not lined up right with it. Come on. I'm getting lodged on the ladders is all. But you get the point. It pushes you forward. Or pushes you up. Or, if you do it right, you can push them down. It can be used to also cushion falls. Because when you fall on top of one of these things... Move it, Pigsy, my turn. Whatcha! I missed. Whatcha! I missed again! Gotcha! He exploded. Woohoo! 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 But anyway, as you fall towards it, it does actually cushion your fall somewhat. I can actually take a ladder, if I'm not mistaken, and you're not a ladder. Take a ladder, place a ladder, and a ladder. We'll go up. I wonder how high I can go and how fast this thing slows my descent. That's a very good question. I did not ask before I got here. So this is also a tutorial tutorial video on physics. So let's get to the top. I'm on the top. I thought I was on the top. There we go. Down we go. If I was maybe one less, it wouldn't hurt as much. But you get the point. It's useful. Now let's turn you off. And let's suck this up and suck this up and up and up. The final thing that these little switches are good for, and such, are lighting. Now, I'm pretty certain this is the very first thing everyone's going to do, is just take this and connect it to a light, or you get the point, and then just flip the switch, and ta-da! We got light. And I can't change the color, but you get the point. That is what the receivers are all for, the things you're going to be powering and turning on. Devices like this. Now, I have a curiosity that needs scratching. No, wrong thing. Can I? Surely not. Yeah, you can't turn off torches. Okay. I was making sure. I was like, there's no way you can make a torch light up, is there? That'd be awesome. Give it a majestic feel. Okay, so we've got those done. Next up are your gates, your intermediate and advanced level wiring. Now, these can get a bit aggravating at times, and I admit I am no professional when it comes to doing electrical wiring and, electronic programming and gates and stuff like that, so bear with me. So your gates will be your inverter gate, that's a fan, your number comparison gate, your flip-flop gate, your logic gate, did I get them all? Timer gate. I'm going to need you for this demonstration. You know what, I'll throw one of you down if I need you too. And I'll take an arc sign to need that as well. Okay. So, each one of these gates has a very specific purpose. This down, that's it for you, and that down, and just in case, you. So, first up we have the inverter gate. Now its name is pretty much as it implies. It takes a signal and inverts it, so let's go ahead and have it receive a signal from the switch. And it is going to send a signal to here. Now, I'm going to flip the switch. It has received the true signal, and it inverts it to become false. See what I mean? The state is false, so it can't interact, so its output is... Wait. Yeah, your state is true, so this one's state is false. If you want this in English, this is on, so this is off, which means that this is off. But if I turn this off, it does the opposite. This switches to on, and this switches to on. That is how this works. Your next one is your number comparison gate. Now, this is how you make passworded doors. I've already done a video on this, so go check it out. But just in case, let's refresh. So this is what you do to compare numbers. If one number, like let's say you get a number from your pin pad and it's less than or equal to, or it's blah, let's not go into it. Let's get the simple thing. It's mostly used for things like up here for that giant LED I did, where it compares numbers to then process an LED pattern. But for now, we're going to do this. It's going to use a value for input 2. Let's make the value 10. Save. And then we're going to, what are you, value 2? Yep. You're going to take value 1, take a number pen pad, and we're going to take the send and attach it to the LED. And then go here, and if I hit, like, let's say 5, it messes up. You probably heard it go meh. Like, let's try again from over here. I'm out of range, darn. You see, it won't work. So, let's say we click it and do 10. Turns it on. It's received the proper signal. And if you wanted to automatically turn back off, just change the reset time. That is the basics for this. If you want more advanced ways to use it, I recommend looking into guides through the Steam Workshop and on the forums. They can get pretty in-depth, and they do many times go beyond my ability to even begin to understand. I apologize. So your next one is your flip-flop gate. Now this was heavily used over here for on and off, and I'm going to show you why. Did I really pick up that LED? Get back down there. So once again, let's do some wiring. Let's attach your switch to your flip-flop gate. Now, flip-flop gates do one thing and one thing only. Did it attach it? Yeah. They ignore signals. So, case in point, the first signal I send, it takes. But now it's flipped around, and until it turns, until it's flipped, and until I flop it back, until it flops, it's not going to receive the next one. So I want to turn this off, and suddenly nothing happens. It's ignored it. But let's flip it again. Turns it off. This is exceedingly useful for sensors. So, case in point, let's take this out. And where did I put my sensor block? Let's say I have my sensor right here. I connect it to this, and I step inside the sensor. It turns it on. Now that I've stepped inside, I want this light to stay on. I don't want it just to turn off. I want to be able to see what I'm doing. I step off of it. Because this flip defaults to a true, this is still receiving yes, you should be on. It's still receiving true. But whenever I go to leave the building and I hit it, and it turns it off. And whenever I leave this, it still keeps it off to once again turn back on when I enter. That is how a flip-flop gate works. It takes the first true and keeps it true, takes the second and takes false and makes it true, and then the next false becomes false, but the false after that becomes true. Or truer. You get the point. I'm confusing you. Just ignore everything I just said. Okay. Up next we have logic gates. Now, logic gates are a breed unto themselves, and they have multiple ways of programming, so I will be including a link about how you should look at logic gates. Okay? This is just going to be a basic little run-through of how these things work. Okay? Don't expect this to be some super, oh my god, this is so awesome, everything works perfect guide for this, because they can get a bit complex in their programming. It is really simple, but the programming, because of how many ways it opens things up, becomes complicated. Let's receive to you, receive to you. Now, what a logic gate is, it compares two inputs and then outputs a signal based off of that. And it does this in a logical way, hence the name. Kind of. Not really. It'll then, so basically let's hit N on this. You get AND, OR, XOR, NAND, NOR, XNOR. So with the way AND works, if both of these are off, the light is off. If this is on but this is off, the light is off. If they're both on, then the light is on. But let's say I turn this one off and leave this one on. The light comes off again. So let's switch them both to off. That is how AND works. Or, when they're both off, the light is not on. But let's say this switch is on. The light is on. But when I turn them both on, it's still on. But when I turn this one off, it is also still on. The way OR works is that as long as one thing is as long as it is receiving signal from one item, it stays on. Hold on. Things mucking about my stuff. So let's move on to the next one. Did I turn you both off? Yes, I did. It is XOR, or XOR. I pronounce it XOR. So the way this works, one is on, it's on. Also, if both are off, it's off. But one is on, it's on. Two are on, it's off. The other one is off, it's on. So basically, only one or the other, not both, can be on or off. Let's turn you off. And I said there will be an image in the description that you can go to which should help explain this on the Wiring It page for Creativerse. NAND. NAND seems to be the most popular for some reason. So here's NAND. They're both off, the light is on. This one's on, the light is on. This one's on, the light is off. This one's off, the light is on. So it is the opposite of AND. Or not AND if you want. I guess that's where that comes from maybe. If they are both on, the light must be off. But if they are both off, the light is on. Or if one or the other. You get the point. Then you have NOR. With NOR, both are off, light is on. One is on, light is off. Both are on, light is off. This one's off, light is off. So basically, everything must be turned off for it to turn on. This is useful for triggering special events, like let's say a person's on a starting line or something, and every player it gets off of the starting line disappears, or a timer starts that then starts causing the blocks behind them to phase out of existence and slowly kill them to death. Or, yes, kill them to death. Whatever. You get my point. Next up is XNOR, or XNOR. Yes, I do that. If they're both off, it's still on. But if one is on, it's off. If two are on, it's on. But if the other is off, it's off. So basically, you either have to have the extreme. Both must be on or off, or this doesn't turn on at all. Oh shit, things are spawning. Crap, I can't see a thing. Very dark on my TV screen. It's probably better in the recording. Alrighty. And that, my friends, is how a logic gate works. There are other ways to program them, of course. Turn off. But this is just your basic. What did I just... Come here. So, our final one is the delay gate. Delay gates are, as you've already known, they just delay an input. So, like, let's say I take you, send you to here, and then send you to here. I just hit N on it, and I'm going to delay it by 2 seconds. And I'm going to flip the switch on. It counts all the way around, hits 2 seconds, the light turns on. That's all a delay gate is good for, but they are very, very useful in setting up special effects, causing delayed spawn timers, creating delayed phase blocks, or just really cool special effects like when the light slowly lit up the inside of this building in one of the other builds. The final... Hello, where are you? I can't see you on my screen. It's too dark. I really need to up the gamma on this monitor. Or contrast or whatever. Are you a chizard? Like a night chizard? Whatever. The last thing I'm going to show you are signs. Now, signs are a bit different. If you hit N, you can customize your message, and you can put these. Anything in brackets comes from your event. Like, let's say I do a mystery maze, right? And whoops. Answer is input 1. Now, this is input 1. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put down this. And I'm going to hit F to turn you off. I'm going to wire this to input 1. And I'm going to put down a switch. And I'm going to wire you to the enabled. So here's how this will work. Let's say there are 2 people working together to clear a maze. I can go over here and type in 555. Nothing is shown. But let's say I hit the switch first. There you go. This is how you would be able to work together. Maybe someone has a sign or something on their end that displays an answer, but they have no way but a pen pad to get it over to you. You cannot talk or communicate or pass information except through the use of a sign. Signs are actually pretty good about that. Another thing they can be used for is a video I will be linking from something I have never thought to use it before, but you can actually, and I don't have all the things that you can type into there, I will put a link for that as well, change how the message appears through coding. Where's my light? There we go. Basically you can change its color, its height, how far forward it is from the sign, or how far back. In the video that I want to show you, and I'm going to send a link to, the person literally takes a bunch of these signs and then using zeros to the max size of each sign makes an image. And then he uses old style, almost like film style motion picturing, almost like flipbook. You have image 1, and then behind sign 2 there's a delay gate, and what's happening, or there's a delay gate controlling it, and every time this sign is active for, let's say, half a second, the next sign is active for half a second, and then when that one gets done, it activates the next, and so on and so on and so on. But they're all pushed forward to this point right here. So it looks like a moving motion picture, and it's awesome, and I like it. Hey pig, you're gonna die. Watch out! I saw you coming up on me. I hope nothing else is coming up on me. Let's figure out what this is real quick, because it's bugging me. You're a Keepa and a tree. Are you my Keepa? Where'd he go? There he is. What are you doing? Okie dokie then, I guess you're just doing that. But yeah, they're very useful for displaying information, just lighting things up. You know what, I think Fox and Amy have a few signs. I don't really use signs that often, unfortunately. There are a lot of other things you can light up. This was just a basic guide on what you can and can't do with things like right here you have beacons, like healing beacons, and you have... Won't you die already? You have, like here, like you can describe things. You have the obelisks, which by the way can be turned on and... Whoops. You can edit them and what they say, and even if you have a switch, I think you can... Can you? Let's find out. Yeah, you can turn them on and off. Now if I'm not mistaken, they have a... See, they're better interior design and architecture than me. That actually looks cool. So what is this? Whoop. See what I mean? This is the Hall of Nothing. You have been warned. Why are you still reading? Fine. And a dick. Are you calling me a dick because I was still reading the sign? Okay then. But yeah, you get the point. You can use this... Oh, I had a missing chunk. But yeah, you use it to list things up, you can project. Yeah, that's not supposed to be happening. Well, developers, if you see this, glitch. But yeah, you get the idea. This is your basic overlay of your wiring. From here, you should have a basic understanding. Let me out. You should have a... Hi there. A basic understanding of how the wiring works and how you can do your own builds and use them to better help you. I will be showing you a more, I guess it's an intermediate, maybe advanced application of it to make the scoring system that I'm talking about for whatever games I decide to build for the next video. But I thought I should go back at the very beginning and show you how these gates actually work, instead of just saying, well, do this, and then you just blindly following instructions. So, until next time, this is Dying Demon, and whoop, shoot, that was quick. There's something else I was supposed to show you, and I can't remember what. What was I supposed to show you? I don't remember. No, I know where you go. I can't remember. Oh well, we'll go back to the exit. This has been Dying Demon, and thank you for watching. And if you have any suggestions or ideas or things you want to know about wiring, or about building in Creativerse in general, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to come on by and show you what I can do and help you learn. And excuse me? Okay. Oh, I must have had them set up wrong so that... Okay, that should have reset it though, so now whenever I go to leave... No! Door opens and lights turn off. Yeah, lights turned off. Good. Anyway, I'll see y'all later. Bye!